Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about how much steal rating you need in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. So, to give some perspective, I have 7 different builds, all 6 of these right here, and then my brand new build that has 90 steal rating, the absolute glitchy 6'9" with 90 steal. I will 100% talk about this build later, I absolutely have to, but either way, I want to talk about all of these right here. So, to read from left to right, this build right here has 96 steal, we have 60 on this one, 86, 75, 86 again, then 60 on this other paint beast that I use in Pro-Am, and then this one right here has 90. So all of this considered, I have a lot of experience and perspective on different builds, different steal ratings, different interceptor and pickpocket levels, so we're going to talk about them in today's video. Hope y'all enjoy, and if you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all the good stuff. Also, something to keep in mind, all those builds are literally 95 plus. I spent a lot of money on this game so far, so I'm sure 2K loves me, I'll say that much. But anyway, I also want to tell you guys too, this is from the perspective of me watching my teammates and how they play, whether it be comp Pro-Am. If anybody didn't see, we had a wager against Joe Knows. I highly recommend you guys check that out. I left the VOD up, it's 3 hours long. If you're interested in that, feel free to check it out as well. But anyway, in that series, my boy Kitchen has this exact build right here, 6'5", 90 steal rating, and I will say this is exactly a level that I believe you can really get away with steal rating in this game. In my opinion, 90 steal prevents you from getting stunned like crazy when going for reach-ins or passing lanes. On top of that, it also unlocks this godly badge on this game, Hall of Fame Interceptor. It is absolutely ridiculous how well you can play passing lanes when you have this, whether it be the LT auto steals where you're just standing in a lane, you're not even tapping your X button, you're just holding your left trigger, or L1 if you're on PlayStation 5. And either way, whatever you're doing with it, literally if you're holding LT or L1, you are getting the passing lanes like 60 to 70% of the time without even tapping your X button. It's a ridiculously crazy badge. It's the one thing that really does shine very brightly on defense in this game. And while it is kind of toxic that this is the one thing that's really good in the game on defense, I do believe it lets defense fight back to an extent against the crazy play shots and all types of stuff like that. So in my opinion, the very short answer to this question of this video is I believe 90 steal rating is the best threshold that you can achieve when it comes to your steal rating for what you want to achieve versus all types of budgeting and stuff like that. Now I will say, if you can afford to go higher on this, I do recommend as well. I think to go to like 96 to have the Hall of Fame pickpocket is very nice. Now real quick, don't mind all the other attributes that I just took down, like speed with ball, perimeter defense, speed, all types of stuff like that. I just wanted to really quickly focus on steal rating itself and show you guys the 3 badges that it only pertains to. So you can see for upgrading this steal rating all the way from minimum to 99, or in this case 97, you can see the only things that we're even changing are ball stripper, interceptor, and pickpocket. So when it comes to badges that are tied to your steal rating, it's pretty minuscule. You don't have a lot of things that are really affected by your steal rating. However, again, one of the glitchiest, absolutely the glitchiest defensive badge in the game is tied to your steal rating, however. And again, 90 steal rating is what we're looking for with that. But outside of that, I don't really think much of this matters that much. Ball stripper, it's not that big a deal. For going any higher than 90, you don't really get it any cheaper on any levels. For instance, you don't achieve the gold to be only costing 3. You don't make Hall of Fame any cheaper either. With pickpocket, the level of steal rating that you get in terms of making all the other badges cheaper is going to be at 88. So it makes silver cost 2 instead of 3, makes gold cost 4 instead of 5, and Hall of Fame, it doesn't matter because you don't get Hall of Fame. But either way, long story short, you don't see any difference on any of those badge levels as far as what it costs you at all. The only difference you're going to see between 90 and 96 steal rating is the fact that you can get pickpocket on Hall of Fame, and then you do need 97 to get ball stripper on Hall of Fame. But honestly, this badge never ever should be as important to that point for you, to the point where you want it on Hall of Fame. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't really believe this is that great of a badge. I do like it on bronze, I'm not gonna hate on it completely, but I will say it's pretty minuscule in terms of the power of interceptor and then pickpocket as well. Now on top of that, I don't even think pickpocket is really that great of a badge either. It's definitely way better than ball stripper for sure, but it's nowhere near as good as interceptor. And with the pluck steal nerf that they had a couple months ago after the first patch, you guys know a lot of people were complaining about it, and so be it. It nerfed the steals, it made it harder to get those pluck steals. With that, I will say bump steals have been the way of you playing high on the hip on the ball handler, trying to predict where he's going to dribble to and being in that position before he gets there, and then tapping your X button and going for the steal, not getting the pluck animation so to say, but the bump steal of you jabbing at the ball as he dribbles there. So just understand, again, I want to talk about the stun animations and stuff like that, of you going for the steal and then being stunned and can't do anything. With the 90 steal rating, you absolutely achieve the ability to not get stunned as much as you can in this game. Apologies if I said that wrong, but it prevents you the most you possibly can help yourself from getting stunned in this game by having the 90 steal rating when you go for those pluck steals or the interception lanes as well. 99 is very hard to achieve. I will say the higher your steal rating, the easier it's going to be for you to get those pluck steals. It's very understandable that that's going to be a universally known thing, but it gets very expensive to do so. So if you are badge budgeting, or attribute budgeting I should say, I will say I do think 90 steal rating is really good. The next level that you can settle for is probably 96 to have that Hall of Fame pickpocket, and that is going to allow you to have the ability to still occasionally get the pluck steals and stuff like that. But even at that, again, I'm going to backtrack to what I said earlier. I don't think pickpocket is that great of a badge to the point where you should be absolutely making a build just because of it, to be honest with you. So my opinion has swayed on this quite a bit throughout the course of the year. I will say this is subject to change. Who knows? 2K has been very wishy-washy with the steal rating this year. Originally, I was thinking 86 would be fine. Then I come to find out that I'm not having Hall of Fame Interceptor while doing that. And then I also get stunned on my reach-in animations a ton. On top of that too, then I thought you needed 99 steal rating because I saw dudes going crazy with the pluck steals all year, going insane in that Season 1 or Patch 1 update, whatever you want to call it. And now I think we're in a pretty comfortable area to be able to tell you guys that I do think 90 steal rating is absolutely good enough in this game for how it's constructed. Now, the only thing that would change my opinion on this is if they have a revert of the patch to make it so it goes back to the way it was in the patch 1, where it's complete pluck meta city. You're just sitting there in front of a ball handler, tapping X, hoping that you just get an animation. And that's what I didn't like about it in the first place. I didn't like that it's so animation based tied to it, where it's not really skill based at all to go for those pluck steals. I wanted bump steals to be by far the better thing in 2K. Unfortunately though, point guards and just offense in general is so overpowered to the point where anything on defense would really help in this situation. So again, I just want to let you guys know, absolute must-have defensive badges in this game, it's going to be Interceptor 100% for your steal rating. I will say I think ankle braces and clamps are obviously still pretty good defensive badges as well. You definitely want things like pick dodger to help you get around screens. If you can afford to have intimidator, if you have a good block rating on your build, I think it's a nice thing to have for the perimeter contest as well. And hustler also goes crazy too. One thing I really want to advocate for too, if you're making a lockdown build, is to at least have bronze chase down and bronze rim protector. I'm gonna be completely honest, I saw Kitchen in this series absolutely looking really good on those chase down blocks, man. In transition D, he was getting back, and man, I tell you what, I have never seen it out of that because I've never seen a build in this game yet with 65 block rating and, you know, all this speed and stuff like that with the 93 speed that this build gets. Acceleration really good as well. Perimeter defense still good. Obviously with the 65 block rating, you do get the bronze rim protector and then the bronze chase down artist as well. And again, I gotta say, for those lock builds, it is crazy. But again, back to the steal rating topic, I want to talk about bigs now. We've already addressed the lockdowns and the on-ball defenders and stuff like that. I want to now talk about bigs and what steal rating you need to at least settle for when it comes to your build. Alright, so check this out. This is the 7'3" maxed at the 8'1" wingspan build, and this just shows to... Alright, so check this out. This is the 7'3" maxed at 8'1" wingspan that has 60 steal rating. So just understand, this is the tallest build that there is in the game, and you can still achieve 60 steal rating if you maximize the wingspan. So that just means that every build in this game can at least get silver interceptor, and I will say it's definitely a must-have. If you are out here with bronze interceptor, I gotta say, you are an absolute liability to your team. People can check it to you on the corner passes really easy. For a pro-am perspective too, it's huge to have this on at least silver, and you're really a liability, like I said, with bronze. In park, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier to understand that you can maybe dot that big man early, because a lot of these bigs just like to drop down for the blocks and rebounds really early, so you can catch them lacking a lot of times, and their interceptor level doesn't even matter because they're not even in a lane in the first place. But either way, to have silver interceptor, if you're playing good corner defense and still getting a little bit baity as well, it's very necessary in my opinion to at least have that. So again, 7'3" max wingspan is where we still achieve that 60 steal rating, and it's easy for you to achieve on any build that you make. Alright, so the next threshold that we meet is going to be at 6'10", max wingspan at 7'8", and it's going to give you the gold interceptor. Now, I don't think this is game breaking by any means. That 90 steal rating is a must if you're going to be going with something like this, right? So now here's where we talk about this. And I want to talk about this glitchy build to you guys. And I already made a video on how to do this, alright? So I'm not going to show you the way of constructing this build. A lot of people have been saying it's been quote unquote patched. It's not patched, guys, I promise you. It's literally still doable. It's just a lot of you guys don't be watching the videos full. And I understand, it is what it is, but a lot of you guys be skipping the really informational stuff I be talking about on how to set it up. But anyway, with this, you can see we are 6'10", 78 steal rating, right? Now I'm gonna go down one tick on the height to 6'9", and you're gonna see the steal rating maxes out at 82. I'm literally at max wingspan. You can see all it really achieves is the 82 steal rating, and this isn't really good for anything. It gives me the gold interceptor just like a 6'10" would, but it's not going anywhere. And now this is where we get really glitchy, right? So now you're gonna see at 6'8", my max wingspan goes to 7'6", and I only achieve 89 steel rating, which once again, like we said, is one attribute rating short of that glitchy 90 steel rating that you absolutely need. And that is hurtful. That is really, really tragic and really sad that a 6'8" can't get that. So the only regular build, quote unquote, that gets the 90 steel rating is going to be 6'7" and below. But here's where we're going to show you the really glitchy build that we made with the metric system. Alright, so listen, like I said, I don't want to show the whole process of how to make this build because it's very lengthy and long, and I don't want to put that in like 4 different videos. Alright, so I have the video, it's at like 30k views right now. It's literally the 6'9" build that's going to break NBA 2K22 next gen. If you either want to search that, or maybe it'll pop up recommended, or maybe I'll even link it in the description or the pinned comments, whatever the case may be, I will show that. But this is the build that you need to set this up. You need to create a 6'3" shooting guard, 220 pounds in the weight, and make him burly. It allows for this really weird glitch in the game to the point where you can go into the metric system, create a player that's 2.05 meters. All right, and this is where we talk about this super glitchy build. So you can see this is a shooting guard, 6'9", 202 on the weight, 7'7" wingspan, like we just showed. It's literally the exact same height and wingspan. It's a different weight, but either way, it doesn't even matter. That doesn't affect steel rating in the first place. Now you can see we have the ability to have 90 steel rating on this build at 6'9". Now mind you, not even the 6'8" could have this. So this is what's so glitchy about this build. Just to show the raw attributes that you can have on this and actually just show you with the minimum weight, this is ridiculous. I mean, you actually have the ability to have 90 perimeter defense and 90 steel on a 6'9" build, man. And the defensive rebound, even at minimum weight almost, is 94 rebounding. At a minimum weight, 6'9", regularly, you would actually have like 85 D-board. That is insane, and I cannot stress enough how game-breaking and crazy and glitchy this build is. And anybody who has a beef with this, of me showing how to make this build, or thinks it's gonna be toxic for 2K, defense needs all the help it can get, if you ask me, man. And if any play shots are gonna be sitting here crying about this build, how it's making them hard to pass the ball, it's hard to, you know, everybody's playing my passing lanes, yada yada. This build's glitchy on-ball defense. It's got 90 perimeter, 90 steal at 6'9". 6'9" players are keeping up with me as a guard. Cry about it, bro. Cry. I do not care. I don't think any of us other defenders care either, honestly. Offense is so brain dead easy in this game, and anything that helps defense in this, in my opinion, is great. And this build absolutely helps defense in this game. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to show you the exact build that I made with this. I've already shown it in a couple videos though, so I'm not going to make it too long or too detailed or too lengthy, but either way, I made it 202 so I could get silver brick wall. That is achieved at 76 interior defense rating. If you wanted to up it one more weight, I didn't even notice this, but you can actually get your O-board rating to 89. I don't think this changes anything to do with badges, but either way, you could still do this if you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for the example, and you can make this instead of the 202 that I made. Alright, so you learn something new every day. So actually, that extra weight tick that I did achieves the ability to get one more defensive badge point than mine maxes out at. So mine maxes out at 35 defensive badges. You can actually go ahead and max out at 36 if you wanted to, and I will say it'd actually be kind of nice to have this rebound rating and looking back on it, but it is hard to manage all these attribute ratings. As you can see, I really would like to have the vertical rating on this, and I really would like to have 92 driving dunk as well. So real quick, I'm gonna just reset and show you the attributes that I have, and then maybe I could show you the dream attributes that I would like to have. Alright, so here are the exact attributes that I'm working with. I ended up with 85 vertical, 92 defensive rebound. For the gold rebound chaser still, I could only have 91, but either way, I wanted 92 for that extra defensive badge point. I don't get any more extra to the point that I did with that 202, and again, I'm on 203 right now, but I'm just showing the exact ratings that I still have regardless on the 202. But anyway, 95 block, 90 steal rating once again for that crazy interceptor, 88 perimeter defense, which is still perfectly fine. I still get gold clamps and all types of stuff like that. Silver brick wall, really good ball handling ability, speed with ball, pass accuracy, 77 three-pointer, 80 mid-range for the Hall of Fame sniper, 93 driving dunk for elite contact dunk packages. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is crazy, man. The build is insane. All right, so now here's where I'm gonna have this talk of the most freakish defensive build you could possibly make on this game, and that's gonna be to drop your mid-range and not have that Hall of Fame sniper or the extra shooting badges that you would get generically with that. Now, with this, you can see we maxed out that offensive rebound and defensive rebound rating. You have 89 and 96 in both categories, 36 defensive badges. You end up with a much higher vertical rating at 88, and then still great physicals of 78 speed, 76 acceleration, 99 stamina, still 92 driving dunk, 80 driving layup for the good layup packages like Circus and stuff like that. And actually Jelly is what I meant to say, but either way, really good build right here, I must say. And then for the takeover options, you can see you get slash, lock, rim, and glass. Simple. And man, I gotta say, this is a freakish lockdown build. And even functions very well for a big man as well. It really goes both ways with that. I think this is really a hybrid, kind of a quote-unquote tweener, if you guys remember that, in terms of It's like back in 2013, 2012, where they used to call a build like this in the NBA. You don't know what to call it. You don't really know whether it's a 3, a 4, or a 5, or whatever the case may be for Park, especially. But I think this works perfectly fine for the 2 and the 3 in Park. If you're playing 2v2, I honestly think you could bring 2 of these in there, and it could play the 1 and the 2. Or ideally, it fits the 2 spot very well if you play with another actual guard. But either way, for Pro-Am, I think it fits 4s really perfectly. For 3s, it's still pretty good too, and I don't think this really belongs to the 5 in Pro-Am, but either way, you guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to distract too much from the title of the video, so I wanted to talk about the steal ratings. Again, just to kind of backtrack and talk on this one more time, 90 is 100% the threshold you want to meet, 100%, and this build is really glitchy with that. If you make a real lockdown build, I do think 96 could still be achieved, and I think it's still a pretty valid thing to do. But if you're trying to be kind of a two-way build where you're actually going to have good ball handle and three-pointer, you want to have some driving dunk still, you still want to have your good physicals, I do think one of those kind of cuts you're going to have to make on your build is going to be dropping the steal rating from 96 to 90. I think that's something you can easily get away with though. Past that, like I said, is going to be a 6'8" build that ends up with 89 steal rating, but you're going to want to do this glitchy build right here that ends up at a 6'9" with 90 steal rating. Again, I cannot stress enough, it's not patched at all. You guys should just get on this ASAP if you can, because like I said, it's still not patched. You just have to set it up the right way. I made a video explaining literally how to do it step by step. People just forget about it in the first place and don't skip through the video, but man, I can't help you. If you don't save them, they don't want to be saved. That's what it literally is, if you ask me. Anyway, 86 steal rating does give you the gold pickpocket, but it's not good enough. I'm gonna be real with you, that's not like valid at all. At 6'10" and below, you can get the 78 steal rating, but once again, I don't know why you would really make a 6'10" when you could just make this build right here and actually have 90 on all these ratings as well. But anyway, for the tall bigs out there, you definitely want at least that 60 steal rating. If you ask me, for that silver interceptor, if you go any lower than that, it's going to be bronze, and you are a liability in the passing lanes. And in this game, where really it feels like the only extremely overpowered defense is in the passing lanes, you definitely want to have at least the silver interceptor. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to 1,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put steal or pluck in the comments to show support you made all the way through, or put bump if you would rather do that as well, or put lane. I don't care. Whatever style of defense that you like to do that involves stealing the ball, pluck, lane, bump, whatever you want to do, steal, it is what it is. Let me know that you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if you want to check out that series versus Joe Knows and Fanta and Tazo, the best lockdown in the game, feel free to check that out. It was a best of 5, crazy series, crazy good gameplay. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.